أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب الأسف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. And the earth is spread out for the creatures. In it are fruits and date palms having sheaths, and the grain having chaff, and scented plants. So you man and jinn, which are the bounties of your Lord, will you deny? We are going through the ayat of Ar-Rahman, the 55th surah of Al-Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after raising up the sky and establishing Mizan thereupon, spread out the earth for the creatures. They occupy a very niche habitat or territory coexisting and sharing the ayat of Allah for meeting the needs of rizq or provisions. Man is the appointed caliph on earth. He wields power over other beings. He can manipulate them, their abode and risk, to his advantage. So long as man interacts with justice, there will be harmony in the biosystem. A permanent damage caused for satisfying his material greed will end up in his own destruction. The earth contains his ayat, that includes the risk or provisions required by man. There are fruits, dates and grain, and scented plants that cater to his physical faculties. As the earth is placed for the creatures browsing on the rizq, so is the physical being set up with the consumers of rizq. The learning faculties of the being, namely the body, the senses, the mind and the intellect constitute the consciousness. The fruits, dates, grains and the plants of fragrance are the rizq that the faculties consume, digest and assimilate. They are made in pairs in order to cater also to the spiritual self, which is paired with the physical self. The fruits are the food of mind. They have great many varieties and flavors, but perishable. They are readily assimilated for generating instant energy. It is vanity that spurs and hurts feelings. The generated emotionality is short-lived. The dates are sheathed. They are collected after removal of the covering. They last long. They can be stored for future use. They are the food of brain. The material challenges fed into it after a screening by the mind. Their digestion takes place. Their digestion takes more time compared to the fruits. It involves a process of thought. It produces lasting intellectual knowledge or intelligence which can be stored in memory and utilized on future demands. Such usage produces attention or awareness as the mind focuses adding mental energy to intellectual energy. The grains are cultivated, collected by separating the chaff and cleaned by removing husk. It requires outside assistance. The output exceeds the input by many folds depending on climate. They are shared for further production and outside consumption. Cooking in a meal is a prerequisite before consumption. Its assimilation energizes the whole of the physical system. The energy lasts long. The production and consumption are time-consuming and cyclic and involve removal of toxic elements. It is the attentive leadership. It is the attentive leadership activity which relies on the available external knowledge and management tools. It involves the totality of the physical being, the body, the senses, the mind and the brain, for bringing about enhanced production in quantity and quality, which are shared for community development. Its success depends on handling of environmental challenges, readiness of learning and relearning by the physical faculties. The raihan or spices or flavors to the meal of grains. It requires gathering and systematization of available knowledge and full-time research. The efforts are rewarded by physical insights, which lead to discoveries that alleviate human sufferings and miseries. The insights impart fragrance of knowledge that pervades across generations. Inshallah, we will take up the spiritual implications of all those blessings in this ayat and the ensuing session. Allah A'lam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.